Good day, children. I hope you're all fine. I'm Anupreet Kaur from the Chandigarh Education Department. Children, I welcome you all to the second session of our story, A Truly Beautiful Mind, from your NCERT textbooks for Class 9, Beehive. Children, this story is about the life of Albert Einstein. Here we learn about his childhood, his youth, and his great achievements. We learn about his life as an ordinary human being with likes and dislikes, with streaks of rebellion. We learn about his problems. And we learn about his great achievements that he made in the field of science, about his great theories of light, of motion of particles, of electrodynamics of moving bodies, his theory of energy, which changed our vision of the cosmos, of time and space forever. This scientist's name is synonymous with greatness, with genius. So let's read on to learn more about him. While Einstein was solving the most difficult problems in physics, his private life was unraveling. Albert had wanted to marry Mileva right after finishing his studies. But his mother was against it. She thought Mileva, who was 3 years older than her son, was too old for him. She was also bothered by Mileva's intelligence. "She's a book like you," his mother said. Einstein put the wedding off. Children, soon after completing his studies, he wanted to marry his girlfriend Mileva. But his mother was against it. Why was the mother against this? Because Mileva was older than her son. She was older than Einstein by 3 years. Another problem was that Mileva was very intelligent. Now this is a very strange reason to reject somebody, that she was too intelligent. But from the mother's point of view, she felt that Mileva and Einstein were both like books. They were too brilliant and all they would be doing was research together. She perhaps wanted a daughter-in-law who would take care of the household, who would be more of a homemaker, who would make a great mother for her grandchildren. So do you think Einstein married Mileva? Yes, he did, but later. The pair finally married in January 1903, and they had 2 sons. They also had a daughter before that. Children, do you agree with the mother? Do you think that a woman should be a homemaker only? In today's times, no. I think everyone should be able to make a great life for themselves. Everyone should be able to work. And why should a woman's intelligence be wasted? Why should a woman not have the same opportunities as a man to grow and to explore her intelligence and her abilities and use her capabilities to the best? So the pair finally married in January 1903 and they had 2 sons, but a few years later, the marriage faltered. Mileva, meanwhile, was losing her intellectual ambition and becoming an unhappy housewife. After years of constant fighting, the couple finally divorced in 1919. Einstein married his cousin Elsa the same year. Now children, just see. Once Mileva loses her ambition, her intellectual ambition, and becomes just a housewife, she becomes unhappy. Rather, her ambition and her drive made her a more exciting person to live with, a happier person to live with. So these two, the marriage started going bad and eventually they separated and Einstein remarried. Einstein's new personal chapter coincided with his rise to world fame. In 1915, he had published his general theory of relativity, which provided a new interpretation of gravity. An eclipse of the sun in 1919 brought proof that it was accurate. Einstein had correctly calculated in advance the extent to which the light from fixed stars would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. The newspapers proclaimed his work as a scientific revolution. Einstein received the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. He was showered with honors and invitations from all over the world and lauded by the press. Children, this is so amazing. He had written the general theory of relativity in 1915. And 4 years after that, his theory was proved right. Because in this theory, he had given a new interpretation of gravity. Now, how was he proved right? With the help of an eclipse of the sun. That eclipse proved his theory to be correct and accurate. So, 4 years in advance, he had correctly calculated the extent to which the light from the fixed stars would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. This was a scientific revolution. So, it is for his theory of relativity and his other great achievements, he received the Nobel Prize for Physics. And in which year did he get this prize? 1921. Children, let's have an activity now. I would like you to state whether the following statements are true or false. Einstein presented his special theory of relativity in 1905. True. Good. He presented his papers for the first time at that time. Einstein's formula E is equal to mc square describes the relationship between mass and energy. True. That is correct. It is one of the most world famous formulas. Mileva was the same age as Einstein. False. You are right. Mileva was 3 years older than Einstein. In 1919, a solar eclipse proved Einstein's general theory of relativity to be accurate. True. You are right. Einstein won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. True. Very good. You got all your answers right. When the Nazis came to power in Germany in 1933, Einstein emigrated to the United States. 5 years later, the discovery of nuclear fission in Berlin had American physicists in an uproar. Many of them had fled from fascism, just as Einstein had. And now they were afraid the Nazis could build and use an atomic bomb. Children, why did Einstein leave Germany? Because the Nazis came to power. And in which year did he leave Germany? 1933. That is the year when the Nazis came into power. Where did he go? He went to the United States. And children, in 1938, nuclear fission was discovered in Berlin. Everyone panicked because they got worried. Now, Germany was being ruled by the fascists. They were worried that these people would make an atomic bomb and then they would destroy the world. Children, what is fascism? Fascism is a government system which is led by an autocrat, by an authoritarian, a dictator, having complete power, forcibly suppressing opposition and criticism. This total regimentation of industry and commerce, emphasis is on aggressive nationalism and often on racism. Examples of fascism are Mussolini in Italy and Hitler and the Nazis in Germany. Children, we are very lucky that we are in a democratic country. Life would have been tough in those times under the Nazi rule. under the rule of a dictator. Our neighboring countries also had dictatorship, but time and again democracy does come to the fore there, it does come into power. Children, democracy is the government of the people, for the people, by the people. It is the people who have the power. But fascism suppresses the common man. It suppresses the people, and the dictator has complete power. In Germany, racism had come to the fore. The Nazis were killing, destroying Jews. It was totally inhuman. At the urging of a colleague, Einstein wrote a letter to the American president, Franklin D. Roosevelt, on 2nd August 1939, in which he warned, a single bomb of this type exploded in a port might very well destroy the whole port together with some of the surrounding territory. His words did not fail to have an effect. The Americans developed the atomic bomb in a secret project of their own and dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. Now, children, when Albert Einstein got to know of the possibility of the development of an atomic bomb by the Germans, he got worried. So he wrote a letter to the American president warning him that Germany could be developing an atomic bomb. And he told him that the extent of destruction by that bomb would be very great. It could destroy a whole port and a lot of surrounding area altogether. The ironic thing is that the Americans heeded his words, and instead of just protecting themselves, they actually created an atomic bomb secretly, and they dropped that bomb on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. When did they do this? In August 1945. This was a huge human tragedy. Total destruction of these two cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It is one of the most shameful events in the history of mankind. Einstein was deeply shaken by the extent of destruction. This time he wrote a public missive to the United Nations. In it, he proposed the formation of a world government. Unlike the letter to Roosevelt, this one made no impact. But over the next decade, Einstein got ever more involved in politics, agitating for an end to the arms buildup and using his popularity to campaign for peace and democracy. Children, when he wanted his words to be heeded in America, do you think he had that kind of destruction in mind? No. The reason he informed the American president of the possibility of Germany building an atomic bomb was he wanted the American government to stop the Germans from doing it. But when the Americans made their own bomb and destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, Einstein was shaken, he was shocked. So then he approached the United Nations. He wanted them to form a world government where action could be taken against the perpetrators of wrongdoings against mankind. But here, he was not able to make them listen to him. But despite that, he did not give up. He kept trying harder and harder. He even got involved in politics. Now, why did he get involved in politics? Because he wanted to bring an end to the arms build-up around the world. He knew he was a very popular person. He knew he was well loved and liked. So, because of his popularity, he was able to spread peace. He was able to campaign for peace and democracy. Now, America was already democratic. Which democracy is he talking about? Democracy for Germany, where there was fascism. Children, he was a great visionary. When Einstein died in 1955 at the age of 76, he was celebrated as a visionary and a world citizen as much as a scientific genius. Children, he was a great man. He could think about the future in an original and intelligent way. He was a great scientist. He knew the extent of harm and destruction that atomic bombs could bring. But he was not an evil scientist. He wanted to work for the betterment of mankind. He wanted to stop the bad and the evil ideas, the thoughts of the people who were developing an atomic bomb. He wanted to check and stop any kind of destruction those things would have brought. Now that shows that he was such a humane person, such a great visionary. And he knew that world wars were destroying so much of our population, so many of our resources. So he wanted to bring about world peace. He was a world citizen. He cared about the well-being of everyone around the world, not just about his own country. Children, let's have a quiz now. I would like you to tell me whether Einstein was a mathematician, physicist, or a musician, or all of the above.
All of the above.
That is correct. He was a genius. He was a mathematician, a physicist, and a musician, all in one. Franklin Roosevelt was the President of America, the Prime Minister of America, the Prime Minister of England, a close friend of Albert Einstein.
The President of America.
Very good. Excellent. Einstein received the Nobel Prize for Peace, Literature, Physics, Mathematics.
Physics.
Very well done. Very, very good. The Nazis came to power in Germany in 1914, 1933, 1945, 1947.
1933.
Excellent. That is the correct answer. The American physicists were in an uproar because of the discovery of nuclear fission in America, Japan, London, Berlin.
Berlin.
That's the correct answer. Einstein wrote a letter to Roosevelt to tell him how destructive the atomic bomb could be, how the atomic bomb could be made, not to throw the atomic bomb on Japan. The Nazis were planning to attack America.
How destructive the atomic bomb could be.
That's the correct answer. The atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1914, August 1918, August 1939, August 1945.
August 1945.
That's the correct answer. That was the blackest day in the history of mankind when millions of innocent people were killed. The world remembers Einstein as a world citizen because he wanted, the options are world peace, a world government, an end to arms build-up, or all of the above.
All of the above.
That is correct. Very well done. You've done amazingly well in the quiz. You got all your answers right. Children, let's do a fun activity now. Here are some facts from Einstein's life. Arrange them in chronological order. I'm going to give you all the facts in random order and you will arrange them in the proper chronological order. Okay? Einstein publishes his special theory of relativity. He is awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. Einstein writes a letter to United States President Franklin D. Roosevelt and warns against Germany's building of an atomic bomb. Einstein attends a high school in Munich. Einstein's family moves to Milan. Einstein is born in the German city of Ulm. Einstein joins a university in Zurich where he meets Mileva. Einstein dies. He provides a new interpretation of gravity. Tired of the school's regimentation, Einstein withdraws from school. He works in a patent office as a technical expert. When Hitler comes to power, Einstein leaves Germany for the United States. So now, children, let's see what he does first of all.
Einstein is born in Germany city of Ulm.
That is correct. He's born first of all. He's born in the German city of Ulm on 14th of March in 1879. Okay, this is the first thing he does. After this?
Einstein's family moves to Milan.
That is right. Einstein was only a year and a half old when his family moved to Milan in 1880. Then what happens?
Einstein attends a high school in Munich.
That is correct. So Einstein stayed back with his relatives and attended a high school in Munich. Then,
Tired of school's regimentation, Einstein withdraws from school.
that is right. There was such strict discipline in the school in Munich that Einstein was very unhappy there. He left school at the age of 15.
Einstein joins a university in Zurich when he meets Mileva.
That is correct. So from there he moved to Switzerland because he found Switzerland much better than Munich. He felt that they were not so strict over there. He felt they were more liberal in Switzerland.
He works in patent office as a technical expert.
That is correct. So he graduated from the university at Zurich at the age of 21. Then he was looking for a job. First he got a job as an assistant teacher and then he got a job in the patent office as a technical expert in 1902.
Einstein publishes his special theory of relativity.
That is correct. So he published his special theory of relativity in 1915.
He provides a new interpretation of gravity.
That is correct. So in this theory, he provided a new interpretation of gravity.
He is awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics.
Yes, and when this theory was proved to be very accurate due to a solar eclipse in 1919, he became world famous. He got lots of applause for it. And for all his hard work and all his great achievements, he won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921.
When Hitler comes to power, Einstein leaves Germany for the United States.
Yes, now Hitler and his Nazi government came to power in 1933. Then Einstein left Germany. He went to the United States.
Einstein writes a letter to US President Franklin D. Roosevelt and warns against Germany's building of an atomic bomb.
That is correct. So people got to know that nuclear fission was being developed in Berlin. Then Einstein got very worried. He wrote a letter to Franklin D. Roosevelt against Germany's building up of atomic bomb.
Einstein dies.
Yes, he died in 1955 at the age of 76. And he was celebrated as a visionary and a world citizen as well as a scientific genius. And to date, anybody who is bright or brilliant is called Einstein. So the name Einstein has become synonymous with being a genius. Children, I would like you to write an article on the topic Science, a boon or a bane. In this, I would like you to write the advantages and the disadvantages of scientific development. Children, let's do another activity now. I would like you to make meaningful sentences from the jumbled words. The words for the first sentence are public, missive, wrote, Einstein, a, United Nations, to, the. You're right. Einstein. You can start with Einstein.
Einstein wrote a public missive to the United Nations.
Very good. That's excellent. The words for the next sentence are proposed, formation, he, the government of a world. You can start with he.
He proposed the formation of a world government.
That is amazing. You're very good. He proposed the formation of a world government. The words for the next sentence are the build up against, he arms agitated.
He agitated against the arm build-up.
That's correct. Absolutely correct. He agitated against the arms build-up. The words for the next sentence are visionary, citizen, world, and a. Einstein was. You can start with Einstein.
Einstein was a visionary and a world citizen.
Very well done. Einstein was a visionary and a world citizen. Very, very well done. Children, I would like you to write a paragraph on the life of Albert Einstein. Children, we have learnt about the life of Albert Einstein, the most famous genius, the greatest of minds in the world. His name is synonymous with genius. So whenever we see somebody very brilliant, we call him an Einstein. Children, not only was he a brilliant mind, he was a beautiful mind as well. He won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. This did not make him proud. He worked for the betterment of humanity. He worked to save the world from the atomic bomb. He tried to stop Germany from developing an atomic bomb. He warned the American president against it. But unfortunately, the Americans developed the atomic bombs and dropped them on Japan in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Albert Einstein was shocked and he protested against the dropping of these atomic bombs. He protested in the United Nations against the buildup of arms by several countries. He was a great man. He is still a great source of inspiration for us, a wonderful role model.